Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, back at it again with, you guessed it, another set of D&D stories. Today, we're going to be talking about those forever DMs. What kind of player are you? Every once in a while, my players want to run a one-shot. Finally, a break! Then, when I show up to the game, I most likely would bring either an impulse-driven character or a timid character. Mostly, I like to turn off my brain when I'm a player. If my character is impulsive, I respectfully do it whenever it seems funny or would progress the story. When my character is timid, it's because I enjoy watching the others play while also just being quiet and antisocial. But regardless of whatever I play, I always tend to play support. What kind of characters do you play when you get the chance to be a player? I have a whole collection of characters that just seem interesting, but as DM, I rarely get to use any of them. When I do get a chance, I'll usually let the other players pick first, knowing I'm happy with any role, but some players might be keener on one over the other. In an upcoming campaign, I'll get to play for the first time in years. The other players picked martial, ranged, and support, so I chose a wizard to fill the glass cannon type missing from the lineup. I'm more of a push-the-button kind of player. I try to make sure we keep up a good pace of making decisions and moving forward. My current DMs tend to describe things, especially our travels, very slowly. So any chance I have, I am just trying to emphasize that I am doing the thing. Whether it's run into a room ahead of everyone to look at the thing or whatever, I just want to keep the game moving. I have a character ready to go for whenever I do get to play as a player. A Loxodon artificer named Snowfall Ophagus. I love it. A forever DM by choice. I genuinely do not like playing as a character. Same for me. It took me years, but I figured out that I did not enjoy actually playing most RPGs as a player. What I enjoy the most is having my mind running all the time, figuring out what to do next, how to respond to my players' shenanigans, how to make my encounters work, prep my games, think about the world, etc. The gears are always grinding and working and churning, and it keeps me interested and aware. I'm a good role player, of course. I know how to be a good player, make sure everyone has the time under the light. I know the rules, I help others, and do my best to get the game flowing, yet I have no fun. I find fights boring because turns take so long and I've got nothing to do or think about. I find stories boring because most of the people I know will run very shallow, linear, homebrew, or pre-made adventures. So, yeah, unless some very specific GM that I know will ask me to player in their game because they're longtime friends or just a very good GM, I usually don't bother and tell people I don't have time for this, which is kinda true as I am GMing 3 games a week right now. Support mains rise up. Damn it, now I gotta stand up. I think that a support is easy to overlook as a heal bot, but a good support understands how to communicate with others and learn what they need. As a GM, if I ever do get to play again, I run consistent dual-class full casters. It's usually a sorcerer and, with sorcerer bard being a go-to, because I get that sometimes people don't want to roll charisma skills, and when they have to, having some quick support is always nice. I think a good support will change a punishing encounter to winnable, but an experienced support is harder pressed. The script guy actually wants to chime in really quick. As a cleric main, he too appreciates a good support. One of the fellow players plays a support wizard, trademarked, who has no offensive spells as all of his spells are wards and walls and teleportations. Their group would be dead 10 times over if not for his wizard saving their asses. Personally, I think if y'all try a warlock combined with a bard, aka a bardlock, you're gonna have a lot of fun. I have a stockpile of characters to choose from just sitting in a folder, often very heavily focused on RP, and put the mechanics of my class second like an Eladrin that has 4 different personalities, and even names, based on the season they're representing at the time. Or just something absolutely deranged like the son of a Minotaur and Centaur who just so happens, to be full horse, but can speak. He's an arcane trickster, so he has mage hand and loves to steal because he can say, "Nobody will ever believe you," as well as using his horse body as a disguise. His sister is full human. I tend to be lawful evil and mischievous rather than malicious. pretty much trying to get most every situation to explode for my character's amusement. Wild Magic Sorcerer is a favorite, willing to spring any obvious trap the DM has prepared. I usually run as a fighter because you always kind of need one, but a lot of players find them boring. My main character fighter is decently intelligent for a fighter, a cynical middle-aged war vet that's distrusting of people's intentions and always looking for where the next blade is going to come from to either try to stab him in the back or, unfortunately, cut his loose coin pouch. Which could be one of two things. But that's only to those outside the party he doesn't consider friends. As a member of the group, I have him ask lots of questions that would be helpful for us as a party to know. The who, what, when, where, how, why, and what do we see, hear, smell when we walk into places. I lean into other player characters' strengths and have my fighter ask them questions like, "Hey, Mr. Wizard, you have a spell that could help us here?" Or, "Strange incantations? Cleric, take a look at this." To really just sort of push other characters into the spotlight when the moment clearly calls for their skill set. In combat, I basically just play defense and protect the spellcasters or create diversions to draw monsters away from weaker characters, and then move into Shield Club everything once the bigger damage dealers have weakened it. So even when I'm not DMing, I'm kind of helping my DM by being as engaged as I wish my players were, and as helpful toward other members of the table both as players and characters as I wished my players were. At a more experienced table I play more interesting characters such as my Copper Dragonborn Bard, named the Great Dub-Dub, who styles himself the King of Karoo, an imaginary kingdom that only exists where the Great Dub-Dub happens to be standing. Oh, I love this. The Great Dub-Dub's best friend is a long-dead petrified mouse named Boopa, that the Great Dub-Dub still believes lives and that he can hear him speak. I think we all need to hear more about the Great Dub-Dub. Everybody in the comments, dub-dub-dub-dub-dub-dub-dub. I DM and run a druid as a DM NPC as basically a backdoor. My partners just started and two of us are trying to put the hook in the other two. And we're all pretty new, so we want to get the ladies engaged. So I told them I would accompany them as a backdoor for the first few runs. I'm a stoic hermit of a druid. I don't speak much, usually defer to last except initiative, but opening a door, I let everyone go first, and if they don't get an idea or roll bad, they can be like, "Does the druid have an idea?" And yeah, probably. I don't want to kill anyone because it's our first run, and I want to get them in on it, and show them how you can get unorthodox with it. I still roll for his ideas because as a player, I can have an inkling of what to do, but in character, he might not. And there's always the chance to roll poorly, which can be fun. I'm not a forever DM, but we have one. He's trying to talk the most argumentative player at our table into DMing because this guy knows the rules better than anyone. He's planning to build the most broken OP murder hobo as possible. I couldn't be prouder. I'm a bit of a chaos goblin. I like you. If I take it too seriously, I become a bad player because things don't run how I would do it, so to avoid that, I play a happy, upbeat, slightly joke character that are always down to move forward with a smile. The current character is level 3, first Bard, then Warlock, Celestial Patron, then Paladin. He's set out as a bard to make people happy and explore. One time a city was being ravaged by a major force of not good people of the DM's choice, who were being confronted by another party of adventurers. Seeing people in danger, he helped on the sidelines, protecting the innocents, evacuating orphanages, that sort of thing. Which the main evil was dealt with by other people and their major support. While failing to hold off bad guys from an old folks' home, he called out to anything that would give him the strength to help protect those people. The celestial patron of one of the main heroes was like, "Aight, little guy, I like the cut of your jib. Here's some basic stuff. Hop, hop, pow." This made him a celestial warlock. Absolutely amazed by these new powers, he wanted to learn more about how to help people using celestial power and ended up studying with an order of paladins who had come to help rebuild. Now he's back into the world to stop bad guys and tell stories, and he'll never run out of stories. He's also a 2.5-foot tall kobold with a slightly stunted way of speaking. "I'm Weepo. Weepo here to help. Ladies say not like you. You move away from lady.
Weepo not ask again.
I love Weepo. Can we get some Weepo and Dub love in the comments, please? The kind of player that will hand out a paper to the DM after the session. On that paper, there are notes of all the mistakes they made and suggestions on how to improve their DMing. This is sarcasm, by the way. The notes exist, but I haven't given them to a DM yet. Forever DM ruins you as a player. Since I've been able to basically play every archetype as the DM, I'll generally try to see what the party is going to be lacking and then build it to fit that role. I'll also tend to try and find an unorthodox build to do it with, so that role will be a little challenging. Then when it comes to actual playstyle, it will depend on the party. If it's a group of newer players, I'll take on a support leader type role, stepping in to make a decision if the party starts to getting analysis paralysis, or asking individual characters who would be good at certain tasks to take point on solving the problem. For more experienced groups, I tend to focus more on the DM, picking up hanging plot threads, pushing the big red button, etc. Basically the stuff that I know a DM would love for their players to do, but that more experienced, cautious, or jaded players might shy away from. Here's a quick idea. Play a healer class as a pure fighter. That's right, go full armed to the teeth medic mode, who's also slightly much of a pacifist, won't kill, but will knock out. I'm the kind of person who thinks faster than anyone else at the table. I'm the kind of person that when they pick up a new game or a hobby, they go out and aggressively learn about it, the lore, the rules, etc. I'm also the kind of person who put enough time into their backstory to have confidence in how their character would act in response to various situations. So, when I sit down at a D&D table, I know what my character wants to do sooner. I'm more confident in it, I know the rules for resolving it, and, it turns out, is the kind of thing that makes a lot of players and DMs very insecure because they just want to half-ass it and be told how awesome they are. But I've never had a player complain about how quickly and intelligently I adapt to their ideas, usually to find some way to make it work. Basically, if you're the smartest person at the table, be the DM. And if you don't like that statement, I don't care. Here's a script guy again. Is this why all his campaigns tend to run so long? Is he the smartest person in his group? He's just kidding. Don't worry everybody, he's just kidding. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, if you're a forever DM, tell us, what kind of player are you? We love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.